After everything I need to know I learned in the forest part 2 video, and this is written by Vandana Shiva. So let us come to the part 2 video. In last video I stopped here, so let us continue. So the death earthward view. So the war against the earth began with the idea of separateness, and its contemporary seeds were sown when the living earth was transformed into dead matter to facilitate the industrial revolution. Monoculture replaced diversity, raw material and dead matter replaced the vibrant earth. Terra lunes, the empty land ready for occupation regardless of the presence in indigenous people, replaced Terra Madras, Mother Earth. So, in last video, I explained that he says we should separate from the earth. So, the death earth view, world view, how it will be. So, the war against the earth begins with the idea of the separateness, getting separate with the earth. So, in the contemporary seeds were sown, and earth where living earth was transformed. It was transformed into dead matter because of industrial revolution. More industries were happened, and there were no more trees, and raw material and dead matter were replaced in the earth and terra nullius means the empty land ready for occupation is regardless of the presence of indigenous people, because they are all cutting the all trees. So it will become, the land will become the empty, and it may become the replace the mother earth. And this philosophy goes back to Francis Bacon, called the father of modern science, who said that science and the inventions that result do not merely exert a gentle guidance over nature course. Seeing this philosophy, the all the things in the all the trees on the earth may be cutted off. So this philosophy takes us back to the Francis Bacon, who is called as the father of modern science. Is called as father of modern science, who said who said that science and invention may result do not it will be no merely exert a gentle guidance over nature's course. There will be no gentle guidance, and they have the power to conquer, they have the power to hold the whole earth and subvert her, and to shake the foundation, to cut the trees and to shake the foundation of the earth. They may become that much powerful. As philosopher and historian Caroline Merchant points out, this shift of perspective from nature as a living, nurturing mother to inert, dead, and manipulable matter was well suited to the activities that would lead to capitalism. The domination images created by Bacon and other leaders of the science revolution replaced those of the nurturing earth, removing a cultural constraint on the exploitation of nature. One does not readily slay a mother, dig into her entrails for gold, or mutilating her body, Merchant wrote. So, the philosopher and the historian, that is Caroline Merchant, he points out that the shift of perspective from nature as a living, the shift of perspective from nature of letting nutting mother inert her dead and manipulating her. So the dominant images that were created by here the scientist Bacon and other leaders who were scientific revolution, they replaced the nurturing the mother earth, removing the culture constant, and they also said that they may dig on mother earth for gold and other mutilate her, they may mutilate her body, the merchants wrote in their book the Bacon Merchant. Next, what nature teaches. So today, at the time of multiple crises intensified by globalization, we need to move away from the paradigm of nature as dead matter. We need to move to an ecological paradigm, and for this, the best teacher is nature herself. So today, there are multiple crises in the globalization. Ecological paradigm, and the best thing is to the best teacher for ourselves is our nature. And the Earth University teaches Earth democracy, which is the freedom for all species to evolve with the web of life. and the freedom and responsibility of humans as members of the Earth family to recognize, protect, and respect the rights of the species of other species. And Earth democracy is a shift from anthropocentrism to ecocentrism. And since we all depend on the earth democracy translated into human rights to food and water, into freedom from hunger and thirst. So the Earth University that teaches us about Earth democracy, and also that gives the freedom for every species that are living in the earth and they are having their lives. And the freedom and responsibility of the humans is also, as they remember the earth family, we are as human being the family of earth, being the human and other species, we are like a family of the earth. So to recognize and to protect and the rights of the other species, earth democracy is important from shifting to from anthropocentrism to ecocentrism. For we should move towards the earth. And since we all depend on the earth is also translated into human rights. It gives to food, water, and freedom and hunger, and from freedom from hunger and thirst the earth gives us for humans. Because the Earth University is located in Naudania, a biodiversity farm participants learn to work with the living seeds, living soil, and the web of life. Participants or A to Z of organic farming and agroecology and Gandhi and globalization. So because the Earth University that is located in Naudanya, so it helps in participating of the people to work for living seeds, living soil and web of life. So here children's, farmers and peoples across the world participate in this. And the popular course in this is to A to Z of organic farming and also agroecology, and also Gandhi and globalization are the main courses like studying in this Naudanya in this by this Earth University. You learn like this. So the poetry of the forest. So let us know about the poetry of the forest. So Earth University is inspired by Rabindranath Tagore, India's national poet and Nobel Prize laureate. So the Earth University was the inspiration to our poet Vandana Shiva got from our poet, inspired from Rabindranath Tagore, who is India's national poet and Nobel Prize winner. So, Tagore started a learning center in Shantiniketan in West Bengal, in India, as a forest school, both to take inspiration from nature and to create the Indian cultural renaissance. The school became a university in 1921 and growing into one of the India's most famous centers of learning. So, Tagore, Rabindranath Tagore started the learning center that is Shantiniketan. Maybe you have heard about it in West Bengal, in India. So, from the inspiration from nature and to create a good citizen for India, the school was now became a university in 1921, and now it has become India's most famous center of learning, the Shantiniketan school, or it has become a now university. And today, just as in the Tagore's time, we need to turn the nature and the forest for lesson in freedom. So, he has becoming in the we in the Tagore's time, we need to turn the nature and the forest as freedom, give them freedom. Next, in his essay that is Tapo 1, Forest of Purity, Tagore writes, Indian civilization has been distinctive in locating its source of regeneration, material and interlocutory in the forest and not the city. India's best ideas have come where man was in communion with trees and rivers and lakes, away from the crowds, and the peace of the forest has helped the intellectual evolution of the man, and the culture of the forest has fueled the culture of Indian society, and the culture that has arisen from the forest has been influenced by the diverse process of renewal of life, which are always at the play in the forest, varying from species to species, from season to season, and in sight of sound and smell. The unifying principles of life in the diversity of democratic present, this become the principle of Indian civilization. So, in the Rabindranath Tagore say that is the Tapovan or the forest of purity. Rabindranath Tagore writes that, so in that the Rabindranath Tagore says that Indian civilization has been distinctive in locating its source of regeneration. Indian civilization has lost how to do the regeneration, material and intellectual in the forest, not in the city. How to do regeneration in the forest, they forget to do it. And India's best ideas have come where man was in communication with trees. The best civilization was when the man was in communication with trees and rivers, lakes, and was away from the crowd. And the peace of the forest has helped for the evolution of the man. And the culture of the forest has fueled the culture of the Indian society, and the culture that has arisen from the forest that has influenced the diverse process of renewal of life, which are always at sound and smell, the unity principle of diversity and democratic plural that become the principle of Indian civilization. It is the unity in diversity that is the basis of both ecological sustainability and democracy. Diversity without unity becomes a source of conflict and contest. Unity without diversity becomes the ground of external control. This is true both nature and culture. The forest is a unity in its diversity, and we are united with the nature through our relationship with the forest. So it is the unity and the diversity that is that is the basis of the ecological sustainability and democracy. And diversity without unity without diversity becomes nothing, and diversity without unity becomes the nothing source. So both the nature and the culture, so the forest is the unity in its diversity, and we humans are the natures, we are the relationship, we have a certain relationship with the forest. In Tagore's writings, the forest was not just the source of knowledge and freedom, it was source of beauty and joy, of art and aesthetic, of harmony and perfection. It symbolized the universe. The forest teaches us union and compassion. So, the Tagore writing says that the forest was not just a source of knowledge and freedom for us, it was a source of beauty and joy for us. And it was like a art and aesthetics of for us, and harmony and perfection the forest was for us. And it symbolized the universe, it symbols the universe. The forest teaches us the union and comparison. It teaches forest also teaches us in enoughness as a principles of unity, how to enjoy the gift of the nature, which without exploiting that moves in this moving world was enveloped by God and find. So the forest also teaches us enoughness, a principle of equity, how to enjoy the gift without exploiting, without hurting that. And Tagore also written in the book that is the forest, as you learned, the book Forest of Purity. Tagore also, Rabindranath Tagore also quotes that no, all that moves in the moving world as is made by the God. That moves in the moving world is made by the God, and also find, and also enjoying through renovation and not through greed of position. So enjoying through the renovation, not by the greed of our position. No species in a forest appropriates the share of another species. So neither no species that are living in the forest does not takes the share what is given for other species. It does not takes to takes. Every species sustain itself in cooperation with others. So every species lives in forest with a friendship cooperation with others. So the end of consumption and accumulation is the beginning of the joy of living. The conflict between greed and comparison, contrast and cooperation, violence and harmony that Tagore wrote about continues today, and it is the forest that can show us the way beyond this conflict. So It is the end of the consumption and accumulation, and is the beginning of the joy of living. And the conflict between greed and comparison, conquest and cooperation, violence and harmony, where Tagore wrote and continues today. So, and the forest also that can show us the way about the conflict. So, finally, this was your chapter. The for everything I need to know. Chapter. Till then, take care. Have a nice day. Bye, my dear friends.